The White House doubled down on a controversial firing. Texas Democrats have fled the state. And a Russian volcano roared back to life. That's some of what we'll get to on the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Monday, August 4th. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. On Friday, a jobs report showed that the U.S. labor market is much weaker than previously reported. It showed that employers slowed hiring in July and that the unemployment rate ticked up. Not only that, but the Labor Department also revised jobs numbers down from its May and June reports. So, Trump ordered the firing of Erica McIntarfer. She was the commissioner of the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's the agency that compiles the monthly jobs reports. Trump defended the decision on Friday, speaking to reporters outside the White House.
I believe the numbers were phony, just like they were before the election, and there were other times. So you know what I did? I fired her. Right. And you know what? I did the right thing.
There is no evidence that this jobs report was politically motivated. But over the weekend, Trump officials doubled down and defended the president's claims. And that has experts worried about the independence of agencies tasked with reporting critical data about the health of the economy. Democratic legislators in Texas have fled the state in an effort to block a change to election maps. That's number 2. In recent weeks, Texas Republicans have been preparing to redraw their state's congressional districts to gain 5 Republican seats in the House of Representatives. The plan is backed by President Trump, and it could help Republicans protect their narrow House majority in next year's midterm elections. So Democrats came up with a dramatic strategy to try and block it. They're aiming to stay away from Texas for 2 weeks to run out the clock on a special legislative session called by Republican Governor Greg Abbott. The Texas House can only conduct business when 2/3 of its 150 members are present. So a successful boycott required participation from at least 51 of the chamber's 62 Democrats. 57 joined in. Representative Gene Wu is the chairman of the Democratic caucus in the Texas House. He explained the move at a news conference in Chicago yesterday.
The tool they're using is a racist, gerrymandered map. A map that seeks to use racial lines to divide hard-working communities who have spent decades building up their power and strengthening their voices. And Governor Abbott is doing this in submission to Donald Trump.
The lawmakers all plan to stay away until the end of the session on August 19th. Governor Abbott said Democrats were abandoning their jobs and that he would go to court to remove and replace them if they don't show up today. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, meanwhile, has threatened to arrest them. But he doesn't have jurisdiction to do that as long as they're out of state. Number 3. A Post photographer captured rare images of Gaza from above. Photojournalist Heidi Levine flew on board a Jordanian Air Force flight last week. It was an aid flight that dropped food and baby formula into Gaza, where people are starving under an Israeli blockade. It was also an opportunity to get a rare aerial view of Gaza's destruction from a low altitude. Heidi captured images of destroyed neighborhoods from above. She saw the sites of 7 schools that were flattened by Israeli strikes. And everywhere amid the ruins, she saw crowded tent encampments for displaced people. Airdrops like the one Heidi observed are only able to deliver a tiny fraction of what is needed to prevent starvation in Gaza. Israel severely restricts what's let in through more efficient land routes. Heidi's images are well worth taking a look at this morning. Find a link to them in our newsletter. Number 4. Police are searching for a former U.S. soldier accused of killing 4 people. On Friday morning, a gunman carried out a shooting at a bar in the small town of Anaconda, Montana. Now, a manhunt is underway. Local law enforcement identified 45-year-old Michael Paul Brown as the suspect. Brown served in the Army, was deployed to Iraq, and also served in the Montana National Guard. Authorities said they believe he is armed and dangerous. They are searching the mountains just west of Anaconda. Local residents were told to stay in their homes and on high alert. Number 5. Doctors are paying more attention to a little-known risk to your heart's health. You've probably never heard of the fatty particle called lipoprotein A. It's also known as Lp(a). It's similar to LDL. That's the bad cholesterol that circulates in the blood and can promote coronary plaque, increasing the risk of heart attacks. But studies have shown that Lp(a) carries an extra protein that makes it an even bigger cardiac risk factor than LDL. High levels encourage the development of blood clots and plaque, and that sharply raises the risk of stroke, heart attack, and other problems, even among younger people. For decades, Lp(a) has flown under the medical radar, but that's starting to change. In clinical trials, several experimental drugs have been shown to slash Lp(a) levels by as much as 94%. Now, scientists are testing whether these drugs can reduce heart attacks and strokes. If so, they'll be submitted to the FDA for approval. Families and funeral directors are using AI to write obituaries. That's number 6. Artificial intelligence tools are not just reshaping how we work, learn, and live. They're also changing what happens after we die. More people are turning to AI to memorialize their loved ones. And some tech startups are building obituary generators to help with that difficult task, for a fee. Some users who spoke to the Post said they were helped immensely by chatbots to put their thoughts and memories into words while they were grieving. But there is a problem with these tools. Like all AI chatbots, sometimes they hallucinate. Some of them are making stuff up about the dead, like nicknames and life events. And some humans are worried about what it means to outsource this most human of tasks to machines. And at number 7, a volcano in far eastern Russia erupted for the first time in centuries. The Krasheninnikov volcano has been dormant for at least 400 years. That is, until yesterday. An eruption sent ash nearly 4 miles into the sky. The eruption could be linked to the massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake that struck off the coast of eastern Russia last week. The Krasheninnikov volcano is located near the epicenter of the quake. Kluchevsky, one of the most active volcanoes on the Kamchatka Peninsula, also began erupting after the earthquake. Whatever caused it, the eruption was spectacular. You can find a video of it in our newsletter today. Just follow the link in our show notes. All right, you're all caught up. One of the best ways to support this podcast is with a subscription to The Washington Post. I say that all the time. But there's a new offering for premium subscribers. It's a way for you to share the Post's journalism with other people in your life. A premium subscription now comes with 3 extra accounts. 3 accounts that you can give to friends or family members. To celebrate this new offering, there's a great sale happening. You can get your first year for just $3 every 4 weeks. $3 every 4 weeks. What a bargain. And that's for 4 accounts. After the first year, the price is $17 every 4 weeks. And you should know that you can cancel anytime. There's also an even better deal if you pay for the whole year up front. To see that and sign up now for what works for you, go to washingtonpost.com/subscribe. That's washingtonpost.com/subscribe. There's also a link in our show notes. Thank you for listening, and if you've been thinking of subscribing, this deal is worth moving on. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.